What's up YouTube? Daniel Carter at Afro Herpkeeper here. Today we are talking about one of my favorite animals of all time, the incredibly beautiful, even more misunderstood, western diamondback rattlesnake.
My life is a bit of a mess, but I like it that way. Between juggling school, work, dozens of animals, and a constant drive to explore, things can get pretty hectic. But one thing always stays the same: a burning passion for wildlife and a desire to preserve the biodiversity of our world through public education, conservation, and animal care. My name is Daniel Carter, and you're watching Afro Herpkeeper.
So as it stands right now, we're out here in the middle of the sticks, the Texas Hill Country. This little goober is a neonate western diamondback rattlesnake. Neonate is a fancy way of saying that he is still very young. As you can see, he's not really up there in size, but he does still pack a powerful venomous punch. There's a common misconception that a baby rattlesnake is even more venomous than its adult counterpart, but that is simply not true. Now this rattlesnake in particular, the little goober here, has been relocated from a farm nearby. He and many of his siblings were found in a hay barn full of mice and rats. When you have a big rodent problem like that, you have to expect that predators are going to follow them. Now, what I absolutely love about this species and about rattlesnakes in general is that they are one of the most intelligent and social kinds of snakes out there, as hard as that may be to believe. Rattlesnakes spend their whole lives in large communal dens with their families. They're live bearers, they don't lay eggs, so as soon as the mothers give birth, they protect their babies until they're old enough to leave the dens on their own. Mother rattlesnakes can identify their young individually by scent. As such remarkable and socially intelligent animals, it's really a shame that so many have an irrational fear of these cute little goobers. There's nothing to be afraid of here. I've got a rattlesnake 2 feet in front of my face. He's not trying to bite me. He hasn't struck at me once, and he hasn't even rattled his tail, though it's so small it would honestly sound like a broken maraca. Hopefully, growing up out here, he won't have any problems with people encroaching on his habitat, and he won't be in any more trouble. However, that said, we are pretty close to the site where he was originally captured. Due to their denning behavior and their home ranges, rattlesnakes don't have a very good track record when it comes to relocation. Thankfully, since he's a baby and since we're still pretty nearby, he should do just fine out here. Now, if we were in any other part of the state, I would have serious worries about releasing this guy back into the wild. Unfortunately for the western diamondback rattlesnake, in addition to being one of the most fascinating and intelligent reptiles in the United States, they are also the most heavily persecuted. These little dudes are rounded up by the tens of thousands each year and taken to events called rattlesnake roundups. In essence, a rattlesnake roundup, most common still in Texas, is a carnival-style event where these dudes are rounded up by the hundreds and thousands to be thrown into barrels for months, starved, beaten, beheaded, and skinned alive in front of a crowd of thousands of people who come from all across the country in order to witness this spectacle of death. It's an incredibly inhumane event which Texas Parks and Wildlife has turned its back on, and more people need to be talking about it. However, now that that's all said and done, I'll get off my soapbox, and it is definitely time to release this little goober back into his natural habitat. Full disclosure, touching a rattlesnake is incredibly stupid. Do not try this at home. I find baby rattlesnakes really cute because they always look so mad, but they're so tiny that it's just humorous. So it's definitely time for this little dude to get back to his habitat. We're sort of on a dumping site right now. We've got this big piece of plywood underneath. We've got a big pile of rubble and native limestone to our left, and I think he's gonna do pretty well under this board for the time being. It'll give him some shelter from any birds of prey that might be out and about. Rattlesnakes do a lot of their commuting in the darker hours of the day, during dawn and dusk, just to avoid birds of prey and other predators that might be out and about. Check that out. Beautiful animal. Absolutely stunning. Unbelievably beautiful animal. I can't imagine how anybody can be so irrationally afraid of such a cute little snake. There is nothing. I am in no danger here right now. He's right in front of my face. He's staring straight at me. I mean, I imagine if I were to be dumb and set him right next to my face, I would just be asking for it. But I'm not dumb like that. We're gonna leave him on this rock to bask, I think, warm up a little bit for the day. And we'll see how he does. I'm gonna release my grasp upon this wild creature. What do you think, bud? Might be a good spot to settle down. So, YouTube, as we say goodbye to this beautiful reptilian creature, I'd like to thank all of you, as always, for watching. And if you guys have any questions about rattlesnakes, about reptiles in general, feel free to ask in the comment section below. If you're new to my channel and this is your first time watching my content, feel free to hit subscribe. And if you're already subscribed and want to make sure you don't miss out on my content in the future, be sure to hit the little bell icon. I'm Daniel Carter, this is a neonate western diamondback rattlesnake, and thanks for watching Afro Herp Keeper.